My name is Rasul, and I'm calling from Colombia, from a little place called San Francisco, sitting by a ridge of stony cliffs just in front of me, one of the backbones of the Andes Mountains. And it is my pleasure and honor to be here with you on this Aquarian full moon, conjoining with this alignment that occurs between the Earth, the Sun, the star Sirius, and the constellation of Orion and his belt. This is an alignment that speaks to this full moon as a stream of energy within which we can conduct our intention for this evening, which is to come together around uh, a formation, a mandala formation, a formation of power fueled by devotional love, wishing to be of service, to be an instrument of awakening through these times, both moving from the individual, in this case, Cynthia Joris being the one who set out to, she catalyzed it. She began creating this mandala by first communing with the Tibetan Buddhist tradition of Vajrayana, by going on a pilgrimage, trekking up the Himalayan mountains to meet an old wise man living in a cave, bringing forth the question deep in her heart of how to bring healing and awakening to the earth at this time. And so he gifted her with the answer of many shapely, little round, pregnant vessels with relics, uh, precious relics of incense and blankets, little pieces of blankets or of teeth of these beings that anchored the consciousness of our true freedom nature. These beings who tapped into the recognition of our interdependence and our inherent capacities to be in communication with that in natural service to the times and to life. And so these vessels, their practice was initially seated by two beings, the mythical and yet very real fellow that brought Buddhism from India to Tibet, Padmasambhava, the lotus born, and his spiritual consort, Yeshi Sogyal. And so they brought forth this practice, hid it, and this practice came back to be carried out through these times, held by different traditions. And then about 30 years ago was that moment where Cynthia received the vessels as an answer to how to bring healing and awakening to the earth. And so this is the main reason why we are here. And I'd like to say hello again to all of you who are meeting us for another time, and welcome all you new precious vessels as we recognize amongst our circle and in the world at large that we are into this global healing meditation. So with me this evening, we have Elizabeth Christine. Elizabeth is one of the elders within our Gaia Mandala community. She is our guiding student teacher. This recognition that she is a student herself on the path of integrating mindfulness, mindfulness and the Zen Buddhist tradition founded and carried out in the Buddha's teachings by Thich Nhat Hanh, which also comes as that other arm within our community, carried by Cynthia, who was also ordained in the Order of Interbeing, which was the tradition that Thai, as he's lovingly called, seeded. And so we honor our roots in this way because it gives us our context. It gives us a remembrance of the basket, we could say, or the vessel that carries us in this moment. And so we pay our honor and our respect to all of the beings, both within these traditions and with the indigenous traditions that Cynthia and various other stewards have related with in order to bury these vessels and create this mandala living web of intelligence that we are here to relate with this evening. And so, as another way of setting context this evening, I'd like to share a little bit about what this full moon is bringing to us through the words of, she is more known as Mystic Mama, but her name is also Mijanu Montealegre. And so Mystic Mama speaks to this moon in the following ways. So this full moon, as I mentioned a moment ago, is a full moon in Aquarius. And so she highlights, Aquarius reminds us of our cosmic roots, which shine through in streams of electric cadence and expression, through unexpected kindlings of blazing, scintillating frequencies that lift us to higher grounds. Our limited vision of seeing only what is right before us can expand on all sides and open to the immense vastness of the universe and the incredible matrix we are a part of. We are universal beings, cosmic travelers, ambassadors of spirit, and whether or not we remember, we have chosen to be here and be a part of Earth's evolutionary awakening. She goes on, we somehow keep trying to affect change by using the same old tools, perpetuating the same power over dynamics that are at the root of the imbalance. We may keep pointing fingers, but really, we must point our focus within to change our own consciousness. This reverberating the teachings of teachers and masters throughout time, including our own elders amongst us and the teachings of Thich Nhat Hanh. Real revolutionary change, she shares, emerges from the inside out. In order to shift the collective, the group, we have to start with the individual, with our own self, our own mind, our own thinking, and our own unconscious habits. And so this full moon in Aquarius is here to catalyze our awakening further. It's a time where we might suddenly see things in a new light, find solutions, or shift the way we have been thinking. And so that is our intention for this call, to attune to silence and stillness as a way of further catalyzing this shift within us as we incline ourselves to the mandala, to that living web of power, of love, and see what wishes to present itself within our vessels at this time. And so, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Elizabeth, who will further expand, who will further express what our intention for this evening is.
Thank you, Rasul. So I just want to check, is my voice good? Yeah? Okay. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. Well, Rasul and I were inspired to include silence as an entrance into the living field of the Earth Treasure Vase mandala. And following the guided meditation, we will have a period of silence to commune with the consciousness of the mandala. And for over 30 years, Gaia has received all of our heartfelt prayers into her gestational silence where human intentions take form. And while in retreat at Plum Village in June, where half of every 24 hours is spent in noble silence, I became aware of the powerful field generated by the daily mindfulness practice. And within this silent field, abundant avenues of communication and insight were revealed. And I realized that much of the great turning in evolution manifests through a living silence. And through healing practices being carried out by communities around the globe, a new world is coming into being, a world we can communicate with and through. And so we will take a few minutes of silence before entering our guided meditation tonight. And then following the guided meditation, we will enter a longer period of silence to sustain communion within the mandala and within the reality of a healed and renewed earth. And during this silence, we may become aware of ways Gaia moves through the mandala and through each of us as vases, offering her wisdom and guidance in response to our prayers. And then we will have time for sharing some of what was experienced.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So, we will now begin this first period of silence. We'll begin with the sound of the bell, inviting the bell and then receiving the bell for 3 times. Go into that period, half the meditation, and I won't repeat all that Elizabeth has shared. And then we'll open our circle. Okay.
Now gently moving from this place of shared silence, take a deep breath, breathing in and out, deep and slow, sensing the ground beneath you, holding you, offering stability, your roots reaching deep into the earth, allowing your body to relax. Breathing in and breathing out, draw the nourishing life force of Gaia up through your root, her life force freely given for your well-being. As thoughts of the past and concerns for the future melt away, fully enter this precious moment of deep communion with Gaia. Opening to the light above, expand into the vast energies of the cosmos, drinking in the energies of sun, moon, and stars. Rooted below, connected above, ride your breath into the present moment.
And now let us feel our connectedness to the special place where each of us sit on the planet right now. Feeling your relationship to the soils, to the mycorrhizae, the stones, the waterways, the family of trees making up the forests, flowers and pollinators, the communities of life who call these habitats their home. Aside you, and who also receive stability and nourishment from Mother Gaia, the warmth of the sun and moon, just like you. And now, in this present moment, in this special place, we acknowledge all those who have come before, the ancestors of the original indigenous peoples of the lands we inhabit, our own lineages, in deep relationship with the earth, who have been in sacred tending stewardship with the lands we have inhabited and are now inhabiting for countless generations. We acknowledge the future ancestors of the land we live upon now, who will continue to hold this land as sacred for countless generations to come. And we humbly invite all of them to bless us and our practice at this time. Let us also call upon all our sources of inspiration, our own ancestors, elders, teachers, and guides, lineage masters, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, all the wisdom beings that we feel connected to, and invite them all to be present with us now, inviting their blessings to enter you and everyone who is present for this meditation. and opening yourself to receive the blessing of their love, support, guidance, healing, and clarity.
Breathing in this blessing, allow the love and caring to enter your deepest heart of hearts. And on the next out breath, send the love to everyone present on our call. Breathing in, receive the love that is being sent. Breathing out, sending. An ebb and flow of tides washing blessings among us. And now gradually expand your focus to include all of your friends, family, and community, and all those who this practice may serve. Imagine your love gradually growing, expanding out from your home, through your neighborhood, bioregion, country, and continent, to include all beings, embracing the whole planet with your love. Rooted in the earth, connected with the cosmos, with waves of love flowing from your heart, turn your awareness to those who are suffering, in the places where there is war, poverty, disease, pollution, droughts, fires, or floods, and direct our love to the places where the need for healing is great. Breathing in their suffering and breathing out, send your love and caring to relieve the suffering of the earth, her people, and all of life.
And imagine that where there is hunger, great nourishing gardens begin to grow. Where there is thirst, fresh, clean waterways spring up. Where there are unhoused, safe shelters are built within webs of mutual aid. Where there is war and conflict, the people unite. Choirs of peace erupt, echoing in the hills. Where there is sickness, vital health is celebrated. And aware of where the earth is unstable, in danger, or out of balance in any way, imagine a restoration of balanced power, bringing protection and regeneration. As you hear the land sing out in harmony, now see the generosity and reciprocity in communities of life flowing freely from your own heart outwards, seeing the beauty and riches of nature flowering into abundance for the sustenance of life, revitalizing this radiant blue-green planet we call home. As we hold this glowing vision of Mother Earth, we call into our awareness the presence of the Earth Treasure Vases that have been planted or are in the process of being planted all around the world. And let us begin to imagine that together we are pouring our love, our caring, and offering of stillness stillness, and silence in the form of light into each and every little clay pot buried in the body of Gaia, filling each vase with our deepest prayers, our blessings for healing.
Imagine each Earth Treasure Vase radiating light in every direction, sending healing and protective energies wherever they are needed, in whatever form they are needed. See light like a rainbow streaming forth from each of the vases. White, yellow, red, blue, green, and all the colors in between. Breathing in and breathing out. Allow caring and compassion to grow. Sending love to all the people, animals, plants, and places connected to each of the Earth Treasure Vases we have planted. As we name the vases, send healing and protection to wherever it is needed, in the past, in the present, and in the future. Beginning at the center of the Earth Treasure Vase Global Healing Mandala, in the sacred land of the Tewa people, now called New Mexico, in a cave above Los Alamos National Laboratory. Bring your focus to the very place where the nuclear age was opened and our first vase was planted. And to the north of Los Alamos, at the source of the Rio Grande, in Creede, Colorado. To the south, at the mouth of the Rio Grande, at the Gulf of Mexico. To the east, on top of Mount Baldy, above Santa Fe. And to the west, on Mount Jacoma, known as Sikamu, to the Tewa people, the custodians of the sacred lands where this mandala began. And now, having established the center in the four directions, see the mandala growing in every direction. To the Indian Point Nuclear Reservation on the Hudson River in New York. To the Headwaters Old Growth Redwood Forest in Northern California. The Punta Cometa on the coast of Oaxaca, Mexico. Vilcabamba, Ecuador. Jakova, Kosovo. The Lawrence Laboratory at the University of California, Berkeley. The Dao Dum Forest on the border of Thailand and Burma. The village of Ain Karam in Israel, Palestine. Hiroshima, Japan. Inwood Park above New York City after 9/11. The Biosphere 2 in Oracle, Arizona. The Martin Luther King Freedom Center in Oakland, California. The source of the Ganges River in India. The source of the Amazon River in Peru. The Southern Pacific Ocean 93 feet down in Igam Atoll, the Trobriand Islands, Papua New Guinea. The Arctic Circle, Alaska. The Kogi lands of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, Colombia. Telawoyan Village, Lofa County, Bungoma District, Liberia. The Blighter River Canyon, Limpopo Province in South Africa. The Giza Plateau in Egypt. Haleakala, Maui, Hawaii. The Ntambwe Forest, South Kivu Province in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Avebury, England. Bindaluk, Jawan Country, Catherine, Northern Territory, Australia.
Tugaranmung, Armland, Australia. The Mackenzie King Park, Ottawa River Valley. Ottawa, Gatineau, Canada. The original garden in Finhorn, Scotland. The Great Stupa of Buddhanath in Kathmandu, Nepal. The Flint Hills of Kansas in the heartland of North America. The Santa Cruz Mountains near Silicon Valley, California. The Valles Caldera of northern New Mexico. Punululu Bungle Bungles, the Kimberleys, Australia. The village of Utqiagvik at the edge of the sea in northernmost Arctic Alaska. The Hanford Nuclear Reservation on the shores of the Columbia River in the state of Washington. Mount Ryosen above Fukushima, Japan. And back to where it all began, at the cave hermitage of Sharak, Nepal. To Margibi County, Liberia. In the base of an old ironbark tree on Dithyu Mountain in the Budawang wilderness of Walbanja Country, Yuan Nation, southeastern Australia. And to our root temple, Tolu Tarling Monastery in Nepal. The Munzur Valley in Turkey, Serpent Mound in Ohio, the Ashaninka spiritual portal, Campa do Rio Amonea indigenous land, Acre, Brazilian Amazon bordering Peru. The Border Peace School, Sherwan, the demilitarized zone between North and South Korea. In Nabusimake, Arwako territory, in Colombia, in Akaroa Te Wapunamu, South Island, Aotearoa, New Zealand. On Mount Parnassus, above Delphi in Greece. Pian Grande di Castelluccio of the Sibillini Mountains, Umbria, Italy. In Wea Wicken, facing the Windcates Park, North Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. In a sylvan wood near a creek that flows into the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. In eastern Tibet, next to a high-altitude turquoise lake. To Fontaine Felletum, Happywell, flowing by a creek adjacent to a chapel in the village of Helsum, Islik, Luxembourg. In the woods embracing Auschwitz, Birkenau, Poland. To the Vase and Antarctica.
To the Isle of Lewis in the Outer Hebrides of Scotland. The Saugatuck Dunes on Lake Michigan in the United States. The Highwood Valley in the Rocky Mountains of Alberta, Canada. Southeastern U.S. Turtle Island, Shakonahay, Tennessee. A vase called Coronama, planted on the shores of Lake Washington in Kirkland, Washington, near the Life Care Center where COVID began in the U.S. The Permian Basin of New Mexico. Along Sweetwater Creek at the base of Marble Mountain in Danby, Vermont. To the vase called Cetacea in Provincetown, Cape Cod, Massachusetts, honoring the wisdom and persistence of our whale relatives. To the vase dedicated to the return of the salmon buried on the north coast of the Olympic Peninsula in Washington State, and the vase most recently planted in southwestern Australia. And let us also bring our awareness to all the vases currently being stewarded, sending our prayers into these regions, along with support for each of the stewards. A vase dedicated to the Bering Straits, one for Chile, a vase dedicated to the Altai Mountains in Russia, the vase for healing racism, a vase for Bamyan, Afghanistan, one for South India, for Palestine, a vase for Spain, one for Taos and northern New Mexico, the vase for the Little Shell tribal territory in Montana, Triple Divide Peak on Turtle Island, a vase dedicated to Kairos time, a vase dedicated to the Parmo ecosystem in Colombia for the restoration of the waters of the world, a vase for the Big Sur region in California, one being carried to the Andes Mountains, the vase for Ukraine, and the vase for Hungary.
Once again, please take a deep, slow in-breath and a deep, slow out-breath. And imagine that all that is needed to relieve the suffering of the earth can be seen as light radiating out from each of the Earth Treasure Vases all around the whole planet in every direction. See and feel this healing light flowing out from the vases, feeling the whole global Earth Treasure Vase mandala with the powerful energies of our love, of our caring, of our embodiment in response to these times. Seeing this healing force traveling through the songlines and meridians of the earth, flowing into each location on the global mandala. See the mandala like a web of light embracing the whole planet. Feel the light flowing back and forth like waves from your heart to the Earth Treasure Vases, energizing them and adding vitality and brilliance to the light that is then flowing out to the whole area in the sphere of influence of each of the Earth Treasure Vases. Please focus your attention, your concentration, one pointedly on bringing healing and protection, peace, harmony, and justice to the whole earth for all time. See the healing and protection radiating out from all the vases around the earth, in waves of light flowing back and forth endlessly. Now imagine this light flowing into your own location, your special spot in nature, and feel the collective spiritual intelligence of the entire global Earth Treasure Vase mandala, activating your node on the global healing mandala. and entering you as a holy vessel. And imagine that the healing is accomplished and the vitality of the earth is completely restored.
taking your place within the great interconnected web of life on Earth. Allow yourself to sink into silence, listening into the deep gestational silence of the mandala. As a new world forms in accord with all of our heartfelt prayers, open yourself to receive insight and guidance from this creative field.
Thank you all for remaining with us for the meditation and for this offering of stillness and silence. It's an experiment of sorts. We wished to offer both to ourselves and to our community as a way to receiving, as a way to receive from the mandala, and simultaneously lean ourselves forward, listen, be still, and be with what has arisen, whether that's stillness or not, to find the compassion, the curiosity, the receptive friendliness, to be with that. And so at this time, our invitation is to invite you to come forward if there is anything that feels that you wish to share with the circle as a way to harness what's been shared, not to dissipate it, but to offer it forward, um, savor it some more, we could say. And so our circle for sharing is now open.
And before we start, I'll just hold up the bell that someone asked to see. This beautiful bell that was gifted to Cynthia.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Rasul and Elizabeth. Thank you so much for hosting us tonight and for all of you for being here on this full moon. Once again, I'm always moved by the intimacy that we share when we enter into the noble silence together. And it's such a gift in this busy, loud world to actually share the quiet. And as Rasul said, really every month we do this, even though it's been going on for 30 years. It's an experiment, it's a unique offering. Some things remain the same, like all the treasure vase locations that we've ever taken one of these little holy vessels to. But our practice is alive. We hope and pray to keep it alive so it changes. And tonight's silence was part of that experimental changing nature of how do we wake up? How do we facilitate the kind of awakening and transformation within ourselves and in the world around us that is called for? Where is that source of change and realization within us? And how can we support each other in tapping into that place? strengthening it. One of the parts of the Earth Treasure Vase practice that brings it to life as well, brings each of the treasure vases to life in the locations that they have been planted, are the offerings that go into them, like an alchemical mixture of who knows what that we are inspired to place into those little pots before they get planted in the earth. Those offerings are potent medicines, as we are every full moon with our intentions. And that was kind of what struck me tonight. And thank you for, as Rasul said, staying here with us, staying with each other. Gaia is celebrating our presence with her tonight. I send my love out to each of you with gratitude. Thank you for being here.
Cynthia, may I speak to you? I have read your book and gifted it to many of my friends, one of whom is a doctor who did um, Doctors Without Borders in all sorts of dangerous places, South Sudan and Ukraine and Kenya and all sorts of South Africa. And her house recently burned down to ashes in Pacific Palisades, and she's struggling. And she's been all over the continent giving and giving. And I would like to somehow in southern Arizona, I don't know what vessels have been placed here, but we are suffering at the border. So somehow I'd like to reach out to you and include her to somehow do a vessel in I don't know, Pima Indian Reservation goes down south, but I will reach out to you personally, but I would like to help her because she's devastated from her home being turned to ashes after giving so much all over the world. I would like to include her with a vessel, and I've gifted her the book. So is there a way for me to reach out to you personally?
The best way to do that for any of you who might be interested in stewarding treasure vases is to contact any of us in the Global Mandala here at Alliance for the Earth, which is the nonprofit, through the email address info@earthtreasurevase.org. And in that email, share your request, and someone will respond to you amongst us here at the hub of the mandala, the wheel of prayers for the earth. So thank you, Jan, for being here, for your concern, for sharing the book, which I very much appreciate. And yeah, there's more we could say about all of that, but let's leave it there so we can hear from others right now. Hope that helps.
Thank you. Thank you.
And just like to say that part of the invitation for tonight's sharing is what we are finding as we are waking up. That's part of what we're calling forth tonight is sharing as we wake up as a Sangha together. I feel like it's very vital when we start sharing our perceptions of what we're being shown and given and gifted on the path.
I've signed up for the retreat at the end of the month, and I guess I would love to hear from anyone who else is going to be doing that. I'm new. This is, I read Cynthia's book and have gifted it to many friends, and it was powerful for me. So I guess if there's anybody else doing the retreat at the end of the month, I would love to hear that.
Jan, I'd like to welcome you onto the mandala. The mandala is the online home of our global community, and that would be a great place to receive some more information of what the retreat that Rick and Cynthia will be leading. I'll just say it will be a beautiful opportunity to deepen your relationship with Gaia. Yeah, particularly through this lineage of Tibetan Buddhism, and also the embodiment of Tara and Cynthia's journey. So there's a few streams there that will surely nourish you alongside the container itself. I saw Marama raise your hand. Um,
Oh, Kia ora, everyone. Kia ora from the Southern Hemisphere. Deep, deep, deep gratitude. This is my first time in this circle, and I am so moved by the beauty of this mahi, this work, by the sensitive and gorgeous facilitation, by the intention of the mandala and the earth vessels. I've come here through the transition of Joanna Macy and meeting Cynthia through that beautiful 6-week journey with Peggy and Anne and Joanna, and have come through there through Rashani Rhea, who is a long time friend. And I'm just astounded that at 71 I haven't heard about these earth vessels. So I'm both astounded and so deeply grateful. Thank you so much. I look forward to spending time in circle each month and speaking more with Rasul, Elizabeth, Cynthia. And in our tradition here, I've been living here now 25 years with my Kiwi husband and family, and originally from Massachusetts. And the land here of the Ngāti Whātua peoples called us both. John is originally from here. And in the tradition here, I've immersed myself in Māori, Te Aromaru, Māori. Anytime this sort of a mahi, this gathering happens, there's a song that honors all of us and all of the work. So if it's okay, I'll just close with Te aroha, te whakapō, me te rangi, rie, tato, tato, e. All the love, all the faith, all the peace to everyone everywhere. Kia ora. So grateful.
I'd just like to say hello. I'm Sola, and I'm from Taos. And I'm so surprised, Cynthia, that we haven't run into each other, you being so close. But now we have, so here we are. And Elizabeth, I think, was my neighbor in Sunshine Valley, probably in the 70s, in Taos. And I listened to your book on tape probably for, I don't even know, 6 months. I just listened to it, and listened to it, and listened to it. Every place you went, during the sacred vessels all over it. And it just was touched my heart. And I have, am in a group in Taos, north of Cuesta. We've been gifted 13 acres. And we have started a women's collective there, Healing Hearts Women's Collective. And your sacred vessels idea and blessing was how we blessed our land. We had people in our group who are potters, and we made vessels, and we had a ceremony on our land, and put a vessel in each direction and one in the center with prayers for healing the land. It was originally occupied by the Ute Indians. And so we're working on it all the time. And the sacred vessels are very much a part of our reality, and have really already started bringing healing and clarity to the earth that we are being gifted and stewarding, and the plants. And so grateful. And I hope that you can come sometime up and see our property and be with us. We're on the next section over from the stupa of El Rito. So we're in a very, very special neighborhood up there north of Cuesta. Thank you. Many blessings. So great to be here.
Thank you, Sola. So glad you're here. Beautiful to hear that you've been doing vase work as well and feeling the power of it.
Just really, it was an amazing experience. Totally inspired and directed by all of Cynthia's practice. So
Beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Marilyn.
Yes, hi. Elizabeth, in response to your invitation, as I go through my own personal awakening, and I really, really enjoyed the time of silence that was incorporated into tonight's meditation. So thank you for that. I'm realizing that there really is more awakening happening. So, I mean, I've been participating in this group for years. I don't know, like maybe it started around the pandemic or a little after that, so maybe 4 years. But But think about it, Cynthia. I mean, as this mandala has grown all around the world, look at all the people we get involved, even in these monthly gatherings from all around the world. So the whole world is awakening. And it just really, really made me connect to all the places where the vases have been planted. So even though the last two people that just spoke are kind of new, it's just nice to see it's continuing to grow. And yeah, maybe we don't have, hundreds by now, but everybody can't come every time, but it's still growing worldwide. And so thank you to you, Cynthia, for this big, beautiful mandala. And thank you, Elizabeth and Rasul, for picking up the ball. I'm so glad to be here. Blessings.
Yeah. Mm. Blessings, Marilyn. Monica.
Hello, sister friends. I'm looking a little ghostly because I'm outdoors in the night and I've been watching the moon rise. I have the blessing of being on Eastern Standard Time and able to do the full moon meditation. So I thought I might just, I'm holding a candle, but I'm going to turn my computer around and perhaps you can see what the moon looks like here. It's been such a blessing. It's a faint light, but there she is. Thank you for sharing this time. That's all I have.
Thank you, Monica. We appreciate your presence and your moonlight.
Beautiful.
The crickets are here with me. I don't know if you heard them, but the cicadas and the crickets are my chorus.
Yes. We can hear them.
Mm.
The sounds in silence.
Carrie. Let's see, I think you're muted. Are you muted? No, it doesn't show that you're muted.
You could try muting yourself and then unmuting
Is this
yourself.
better?
Ah,
Yes, there we go.
You can hear me?
yes.
Oh, good. I just want to express my gratitude to everybody. Uh, I find it's it's like I wish there was a full moon gathering every week, rather than once a month, because I just find this really nourishing and it's a source of sustenance, regardless of how I'm feeling. I just I get warmed by it. So yeah, I'm just grateful for everybody holding up this torch. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience, and that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you. Cat.
Um, Thank you for your inquiry, Elizabeth. I was, in reflecting on that, I feel that in the practice and in a commitment to take a movement forward or go a little deeper, what ends up happening is that I find like the I have experiences of the aperture of my mind, like the lens opening. And it seems that experiences come into my life. A lot of times they're challenging, but I end up getting, as in the process of days or however long it takes, I feel like I get this wider view and I start to see like the whole like movement of the characters and like the things, and I feel like that it's a real gift of like I guess in regards to your question, you asked about awakening. So for me, I'm experiencing these through the commitment, these awakenings of understanding, of compassion, because of being able to widen out the lens. And normal, usually it's a place where my lens is kind of closed down. And it's like I get shocked. And then the practice serves to help me to open to that and to open to a wider view and uh, more of interbeing. So that's just what I wanted to share.
Mm. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Kat. It's likely many of us can resonate with that. Um, Sometimes there's a shock element to awakening, and there is times of adjustment. Yeah.
I'd like to speak.
Ah, you're welcome.
I've been with you on and off over the years. I'm rededicating my practice to be here every month again. I've missed it. What a beautiful meditation tonight. Thank you for that. The guidance and the song. The song just, my voice just automatically opened up. I couldn't help it. And it felt so beautiful. So, whose voice was that? Was that one of you singing?
No, Rasul, do you want to answer?
Oh,
She here. Rasul was playing it. She picked the music.
The song is titled Running Like Children by a Tibetan woman who.
yes. I've heard that before. Thank you. But it was so, so, so beautiful. But I want to thank each of you for being here this evening. Your energies are so beautiful, and I appreciate it so very, very much.
Mm. Yes, Marianne.
I have a drawing that I did of a jar that was done in 2017. when it was probably the first time that I was on one of the, present with the group. I tried to put it in the chat, but it won't copy in. But I will take that address that you gave earlier and send it to you.
Ah,
It's now framed and it's in a gallery. I go to a Unitarian church and we have an art gallery. And so I now have it on display in the art gallery. So that it will help to introduce the jars to people of our congregation. But I will send you. It was from April of 2007 or July of 2017. Was the date on my artwork that I just feel moved to send it to you. And it's been a blessing all these years. That was it. That date came to me at a very. It was July 17th was 2017 was 2 months after I had been in a gun violence experience.
wow.
And so it was part of my healing, I think, to discover Cynthia and your path and all that you're sharing, and the drawing, the experience I had with drawing it. So I really appreciate it.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you,
The
Marianne.
church, by the way, is on Tocobaga Indian area here. I'm in Florida, and so our church is on Tocobaga land, or where the Tocobaga. So that's really connected. But thank you so much for this evening.
Yes. Thank you for honoring the people there, and I'm so glad to hear that we have offered healing into your life.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Very much. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. Endio here. I guess if no one's sharing, hi. Hi, Cynthia. Can't see her in the gallery, but okay, I was hesitant because my kid's playing TV, so you probably can hear all her cartoon noises in the background. I'd just like to say, it's my first time. My name is Andion, and I live in the Congan, Victoria, BC. And I'm very happy to meet all of you. It's such a great energy. It's quiet, much quieter than a lot of the groups I go to, but that's why it's so beautiful. And I guess I'll ask for some dedication to the wildfires. I'm thinking about the wildfires. There are about 700 burning in Canada. It gets more every year, and it gets bigger every year. So I'm also drawn to Cynthia's Boomba, this Earth Vase. It just has a pull, for people who are so connected to Earth and understand the importance of Earth. And I have this story of rain, because when you think of fire, you want to think of rain. There was this time when I was missing missing my Tibetan master so much, because in Victoria you don't see a lot of them. They all, some of them go to Vancouver. You hardly see them in Victoria. And I was missing Digo Khyentse Rinpoche. I don't know if you all know him. He's one of these very senior master that has reincarnated. So I couldn't function for the day, and I drove my car to a pocket of forest, coastal forest in the heart of Victoria that was still pristine, and I parked my car by the forest and just kind of napped there. And then there was this rain that came on. So in Tibetan culture, some kind of rain is considered blessings. So this was like really thick rain. So you're not talking about a drizzle. It was very thick, but it was so soft. It's kind of like a really gentle rain that you don't see often. It's thick, it's gentle, and strangest of all, you don't hear it at all. You don't hear it like the forest was there. If it drizzles, normally you hear it on the leaves. This is almost like an elusive rain that just falls and falls and falls, and you know it's a kind of blessing. So I had experienced that, with remembering my guru. And there was another time of a rain story when there's this place of the First Nations people called the Land of the Deers, Viyamitan. And it's called, of course, it's not a reservation, it's just a heritage. And the public's not allowed to go in. You're invited if you join a meetup. And there was a group of us that then went in, and as we stroll around the place, it was so untouched because a lot of the parks, it's still pristine, but it's been touched because joggers, we go in with our dogs and stuff. So this one was so untouched, and then it started raining, and we all rushed into this information house, and it was meant for us to connect. So we started forming a group and connect for about 1 hour plus, just waiting for the rain to pass. And then when it was time, like we all were finished talking, we didn't have anything more to say. And we just kind of started standing up. The rain just cut. Like it's almost like it was so heavy, but the rain almost know that, okay, it's time, we are leaving. And it didn't like gradually stop, it just stopped like that in a switch. So a lot of times I think we understand that the weather, the rain, the rainbow, the sky, the clouds, the storm are really a reflection of our cumulative karma or whatever is going on in the energy inside all of us. And that's how it responds. And if we are really connected, a lot of the great gurus can actually, when they come, they arrive, the weather would suddenly, the clouds would part, and you'll see a patch of blue sky because it's connected to how the purity of their hearts. And I think that's why the Earth Treasure Vase is such an important project, because it brings us back to that energy or purity of our heart and how it's connected to a more beautiful earth and a beautiful environment. So thank you to Cynthia and all of you for being here and for doing this amazing project. And for, Cynthia's merit to have met that old master that was so hidden, because he wasn't so publicized. That was a really good karma.
Thank you so much. It was indeed good karma, and it's karma that's touched so many of us in such a good way.
Thank you also for bringing in those mysterious and beautiful ways in which Gaia speaks in moments where she is needed, where she's called upon, sometimes not even by word, by that tender, childlike expression when we are somewhere present with what is occurring, and the way that she shows up, coming to rain blessings or to protect, to bring the nourishment that we need just when we need it. And so, in the spirit of this, I'd like to go ahead and offer the dedication of merit, sending out these blessings with the following words to all of the places where this is needed. Thinking of Gaza, thinking of the Congo, thinking of the wildfires in British Columbia, in France, in all of the places, including our hearts, where through this time we will be continually shaped by these powers of transformation, beckoning us forward, inward, towards our own vessel hearts to more deeply humanly relate with one another across territories, across races and colors. And so for as long as the earth remains, for as long as sentient beings remain, until then, may these earth treasure vases too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. Through the merits of this practice, may all beings realize their inseparability with Gaia, and all life upon her living in peace and harmony. May there be no more war or conflict, and may all hearts be filled with compassion. Halalaho. Thank you all for being here. Many blessings. Thank you, thank you. And until next time.